Konnichiwa. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Steven, and I want to talk with you for a quick second about um, Namie and Tetsuya Komuro. And what I want to talk about is maybe touch on Tetsuya's contributions to Namie. And ultimately, here is the question: without Tetsuya Komuro, do you think that Namie would be as successful as she is today? I personally believe I personally believe that despite Tetsuya Komoro's awesome songs and lyrics, I think that Namie would still be able to get to the point where she is now. And the reason I say this is because when Namie went solo and changed record labels and went to Tetsuya to start producing her songs, she came with three hits to the table. You know, I mean, they were cover versions of Eurobeat songs, but nevertheless, they were popular hits and they sold very well. Um, so she came to the table with something to offer. As well, there was a lot of buzz around Namie, especially during that time. She was like the breakout it girl of the Super Monkeys album, as well as the breakout it girl of just in Japan in general in pop culture. But I do feel that Tetsuya did help upgrade Namie. Definitely, he played his part. He did. He has, based on what I've heard of his producing and lyrics, he has talent, definitely. And from what I've read, he's been responsible for a lot of successful acts. However, I do think that probably Namie Amuro is his most like successful act that he's been associated with. However, I think he does have other successful acts as well. And as well, when Namie did take a bit of like a big risk in leaving Tetsuya Komuro because people like that sound, but she wanted to take her career and her image and her music in a different direction, and she took that risk, and ultimately it paid off, and she's still able to crank out hits. She hasn't been out of the top 10 since she's debuted in as a solo artist in 1995. She's had like a string of top 10 hits for I think like 13 years straight. And look where Tetsuya is now. I think he like recently got out of jail for like tax fraud or something. And look where Namie is. She's having like her second heyday where she's kind of like, to an extent, a bit of like the it girl all over again, to an extent. Like she wound up getting her first number one single since leaving Tetsuya. As far as weekly, her first daily number one single was the Speed Star / Girl Talk. But for a weekly number one single, the 60s, 70s, 80s single. And she's had like a very successful career. I know, there were some tough moments, but she's definitely proven that she doesn't necessarily need him to be successful. And overall, if he wasn't a part of her career, she would still be successful. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that without Tetsuya Komuro, Namie would not be where she is today?